How about I have...
How do you count sig figs in scientific notation, Mr. Bergmann?
Well, I'll show you.
Okay.
Let's do that. That's important.
Yeah.
Let's say that I have 2.17 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. And then I divide that by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules per mole.
You've used that number before.
Yeah, it's an important number in chemistry.
It is
You're going to
an
see that.
important
So, Mr.
chemistry
Sams, could you do
All
that
right.
on the calculator?
Here we go. 2.17 second EE.
Oh, the EE button.
23 divided by 6.02 second EE. 23.
And what's that calculator tell?
Calculator answer: 0.3604651163.
The units on this, by the way, will be moles. We'll
Moles.
learn about that later and how the units work. But I see a lot of numbers.
There are a lot.
3604. All right, how many significant digits in the first number up here at the top, the 2.17?
3 significant figures. 2,
Now-
the 1, and the
But
7.
what about that 23?
That doesn't count. That's an exponent, and that just tells us where that is in relationship to all the zeros.
You know, significant figures and scientific notation are really easy.
It's everything before the times.
Yeah, everything before the times. That's exactly what I say. And there's 3 there, and then the 6.02 looks
there.
like there's 3 there. So
So
we're
our
going to round to
answer
the
has
third digit.
3.
So this one will be 0.36. Now, that 0, what do we do with that 0?
We're going to leave it because the 4 does not make it round up.
So,
Now, that looks like 4 digits to me, Mr. Bergmann. Or maybe 2, or how do I...
what do you mean?
Well,
That
at the
0
front-
there is significant.
That is. Wait, why is that 0 significant at the end?
Because it's a trailing 0 and there is a
Oh,
decimal.
and there's a decimal. And what about that one in front?
Well, you know, that one doesn't... you might have in your math class just called that .360.
Oh.
And...
leading zeros never count.
well, it's not technically a leading 0. You could write 3.360 moles.
Right, and that works.
But I think it's a good thing to put a 0 in front of the number. The reason that is it's hard to see when you're writing a number down.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might mistake this number for 360 because that decimal might be faint.
Yep.
So if you put a 0 in front, it's just a good way to
Easier to
write
see.
small numbers.
Yep.
So put the 0 in there. It's just a good way to write the numbers. Let's do a times problem and call it good.
Alrighty.
Let's do a mixture with a scientific notation and a number.
Oh, yeah.
What
sounds
do you
good.
think?
Yeah.
So let's say, actually, we'll do a complex problem. Let's say I have 22.4 liters. Nah, let's do something else. Hold on, I got an idea. Let's say I have 15.2 liters. And then I'm going to do a little you're going to learn about this later. 22.4 liters in 1 mole. And then I'm going to say 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms in 1 mole.
Oh, interesting.
So we've got kind of a bunch
I like
of
those
numbers.
little railroad tracks there.
Yeah, we'll talk about the railroad tracks in just a
Right.
couple
So how do I
podcasts.
put that in my calculator? Can you tell me?
Well, you're going to type 15.2
15.2
divided by 22.4.
divided by
That's
20.
on the bottom.
Is that because that's in the denominator?
Yeah, it's a denominator.
Okay.
And then times it by the 6.02 number using the double E button.
6.02 second EE. 23.
And you get some weird number.
I get 4.085 E23. That's what it says.
Okay, all right, so I can live with that. So now what do I do with this? How many sig figs? I guess we've had a kind of a broken record.
That one
here.
has 3.
And then the 22.4 liters.
That one has 3.
Now, a warning here, there's a 1 right here, though. Isn't that one significant digit?
Well, not really. That's kind of a counted number.
Yeah, so just go with the regular
Yeah,
numbers
ignore
here.
your
We haven't
ones.
really...
We'll talk more about that next
So it's 3, 3, and 3, guys. I guess we've been rounding everything to 3 digits, but oh well. That's actually the most common thing to round to in chemistry land.
When in
is
doubt,
3.
round to 3 sig figs.
So the 4 is significant down
Yep.
here, and the 0 is significant,
Uh-huh.
and the 8 is significant, and then that's E me. So we're going to write, and that 5, what is it? 5
Ooh, the 5 makes us round up.
So this will be 4.09. Now I'm going to write it correctly. Times 10 to the 23rd, and this will, by the way, be atoms. I had a naked
Yes.
number there.
No naked numbers. Inappropriate for school.
Yeah, make sure you put your clothes on.
Yes.
Okay, so that helps us to do this. Now you're going to do lots of these practice problems in your worksheet handouts, problem sets, or whatever. So hopefully you got it figured out. You may need to watch this podcast a couple of times to truly understand it. It's a little tricky, and a lot of
Yep.
students.
Ask your teacher.
You know, scientists look at numbers different than math teachers, and so I guess you have to deal with it.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see you in the next podcast.
Bye.
Bye.